Matilda.
Long time no see, friend. It's been a little bit of a longer one this time.
Yeah, much too long.
Much too long.
But we're both busy, so.
'Tis the season. Well, thank you for joining us for our podcast. We are two friends who knit in Amsterdam, and this is our little catch up with each other and with you. And on today's agenda, we're going to have a chat about what we've been knitting or crafting, share some inspiring Instagram feeds. We're going to talk a little bit about a couple of fantasy knits, so projects that we would make if only we had time. And we're going to finish with a favorite three. I feel like it's been the last few episodes that I've talked about my Honey Bop cardigan from Boys and Girl Knits, and I finally finished the body, and I've done one of the little puff sleeve increases to start the sleeves. The other one is just begun, and then I'm going to be knitting the sleeves two at a time because that's how I do it.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? I've also been whipping up another little bear hat for my impending nephew. So you might remember from a few months ago, that was the first little bear hat that I made. And my nephew is very impending. He's going to be a summer baby. So I thought I'd knit maybe a little bit of a larger size so that he can wear it when the weather finally gets cold. He lives in North Carolina. Yeah, it's a super cutie. It's the Baby Bear Bonnet by Petite Knits, I think. I'll double check and I'll put it in the show notes. No? Knitting for Olive?
Yeah, it's knitting for Olive.
Thank you, Julie. It's a bit of an interesting construction. You've got some short row ears, and then the back is all done in short rows as well. So you have this short row decrease section, and that joins up with these side panels to make a nice little bonnet.
Oh.
I don't have kids, so I don't actually know what size little babies' heads are. And I've been assured that this is actually really quite large.
Looks like it. Like when he or she comes into puberty, he can finally.
So I'm making a second smaller version. This one's still on the needles.
Yeah.
See? And I haven't grafted those little ears together yet. They're still on their waist stitches.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I've just started the I-cord for the ties. And this is done in the St. Magnus Orkney Angora, which is it's one of my all-time favorites. It's a luscious blend of lamb's wool and Angora rabbit, ethically sourced Angora, which is always nice. And then it's kettle dyed in some rather alluring shades. It's something that I've used for lots of different projects. What else? I've been spinning. So
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. And this is some of their hand blended bats.
Nice.
That they did last year or the year before. So lots of luscious blues. The aqua blue is not usually
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's not usually my color, but I'll do something with it. I think maybe some color work. I love hand spun for like the contrast color.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that's me. Oh, and
nice.
I've been going through all of the holes in my wardrobe and fixing them up. So this little jumper had a little hole. So
now it
has a little blue and orange darn.
That's very good. Yeah. Yeah. Good job.
Thanks. How about you? What have you been up to?
I just finished a sample that I can't show because it's soaking in as we speak.
Is this your sugar sweater?
Yes.
Oh
yeah, it is.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's turned out really nice. The pattern's going to release on the 25th of June. Something really relaxing is So I made the Vinnie Sweater, and I'm now at the body. And it's really nice to be working on something I don't have to think about and just do mindless rounds and rounds and rounds and spinning around and finish.
I have to think about it.
And with Love It, we made this bag. We just finished it like yesterday. We went to a coffee shop, and they had these what you call it, rietje straw to drink.
Yeah.
We got an iced coffee, and it had this beautiful straw in these red and white stripes, and it was a beautiful day with blue sun and blue sky, and we really liked the stripes, so we decided to make something with that. So we made a stencil and we painted this, and we used one of the off prints from the tulips on the back, and we thought it's really nice. And it's a prototype, which is still working on it, but
I love how quickly you guys like take from idea to actual a solid thing. There's no messing around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because it's only the two of us, and we can just try it out. And on Friday afternoon, we stop production and we have playtime. So we both get to do stuff that we've wanted to try out. And I get to learn new stuff from Ingrid. She teaches me all kinds of techniques.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
And you're wearing your top from Pom Pom, I see. Your Azimuth.
Yes, I am. The Azimuth. Azimuth.
I would say Azimuth.
Azimuth.
Yeah.
Azimuth. Yeah, it's from the last summer edition of Pom Pom.
So it's a year old now.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's merino, so it's nice. Keeps you warm, not too warm.
Okay. Tell me, who's been inspiring you?
Yeah, so I have been, because I'm now into printing and surface printing. I've been following Jen Hewitt already a while, since she did the collab with Fringe, obviously. But now I'm looking at her work from a different perspective, and I've been taking a closer look on the techniques that she's using. And I don't know if it came across your feed also, but I think 2 or 3 days ago, she posted an amazing image. And so you remember the collab between Fringe and Jen Hewitt? And apparently she kept over quite some material from that collab. And there is an amazing woman. She's called A Happy Stitch.
Okay.
And her name is Melissa Quaal. And what she does, she sells on Etsy, she sells espadrille kits. So you can buy the fabric. She sells you the fabric of not only Jen Hewitt's, but like really, really nice fabric, printed fabric, and all the materials that you need to make these shoes, these espadrille shoes. And you get the whole set, and then you can make them, and you have to have a look. It's
I haven't seen it. Oh my God, but the way you're describing it, I'm here.
You want to have some it's really very yeah. Really, it's just a really nice idea to be making these things yourself. And I'm already thinking, I can make my own fabric, and then I can make these shoes. So yeah. And so it's called A Happy Stitch. That's my favorite feed. And
well, it's very funny because my favorite feed is also footwear related. I didn't know that you were choosing someone shoes based.
No, it's pure
coincidence. So my favorite feed is a Dutch designer called Susanna Hengel, and she is a machine knitwear designer. She designs primarily for athletic shoes, but she does really unbelievably innovative stuff with machine knitwear and looking at sort of very architectural elements. She has a really juicy, delicious color sense that just she gets to have fun with when she's prototyping. And I think when she was just out of design school, she got a job with Nike, and obviously that was a lot of like very inspiring stuff for her in terms of being able to have access to things that she never would have had access to. But she really worked out in that process that most designers are sort of limited because they're not the technicians. They don't make the fabric themselves. There's this whole other component, which is the knit machine technician who then interprets the design. And she is kind of straddling that gap. She's really delved really deeply into the technical side of things and finds that really fascinating. And I know almost nothing about machine knitting, but her incredible, it's just this entirely different direction to take a craft that we both love. It just does something in my brain that makes me very inspired and happy, and I love it.
Yeah, fascinating, absolutely. And the colors,
so juicy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Susanna Ouderhengel is my inspiring feed for this week. And then our next little section, which is something new, is a fantasy knit. And we did have a little chat about this offline, and we thought, we've both worked quite closely with Stephen West, and he has a number of designs that we love, but we probably would never make ourselves. So we thought we'd have a little West Knits theme for this week's or this month's edition. And for me, I'm a relatively new brioche knitter. I love it. It's addicting. But one of the projects of his that I think is ridiculously inspiring but will never make myself is the Excuse Me dress. And I don't know if you know, I know you know this one, but I don't know if everyone else does. It's based on his Excuse Me sweater, which sort of has this really interesting bias shape, and you just keep going. And I actually first saw it on Lavagna Patriciella before I saw Stephen's version, and she looks absolutely smashing in it. But knitting a dress with the rate that I knit is probably just never going to happen.
It's quite, I think it's a bit thicker. Yeah, maybe DK.
DK. I know the shawl is in DK. I don't know about the sweater.
Yeah. I'd love to have it too. Yeah, I know. I'd love to have it too. Yeah.
How about you? What's your fantasy West knits?
Yeah, first of all, before we started the conversation, I had to go through his Ravelry page of patterns. Did you know that he has 360 designs on Ravelry? My favorite of the pattern that I would be knitting, but which is probably not going to happen, but who knows, is called Sports, and it's shorts and knit shorts with a little on the side,
split hem.
Yes, and they look so cute. And I don't know, I think it's a couple of years old, that pattern, but now you see all these shorts, the knitted shorts everywhere, and he's had them already a couple of years ago.
I could see you rocking this. You definitely do this, the sort of athleisure inspired.
Sure, but not anymore. Other pattern that I might be knitting is the Kashitashi, which is longer pants. That's quite similar. They're like a little bit baggy pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would make the sports just longer. Just make
the sports or the sports with the legging underneath.
Could do also.
Yeah, I think I could do that. So the sports. I think we can do this with the Stephen West patterns for a couple of episodes because he has 360 to pick from. And I basically want to knit, a lot of them. So kind of like maybe even related to this subject is this month's The Favorite 3, which is our maybe not favorite, but most used reasons why we, how do you say, procrastinate. Is that the right spelling? Procrastinate projects. So reason number one why to halt a project and start with something completely different is, for example, so I started this little shawl. It's a nice shawl. But the problem is I stopped it because I started it with yarn, really nice yarn. And Stephen Penelope sold this Ching linen last summer.
Yes.
And what did I do? I bought, because they're so cute colors, I bought one skein of each of 3 colors. I started a project. I mixed it with alpaca from Isaiah. I started a project, just started it. And then I thought like, what am I going to do with the other 2 colors? I'm also running out of the first color. What I'm doing is I start a project without really having made a plan and finished the plan. And I just start right away because I'm so smitten by the yarn and the color. And then I start something that doesn't really work with the material that I have. And then I have to stop it. Number 2 is like, for example, with this one, I love doing the color work. And then you come to the point to divide to the sleeves and the body. It's also still maybe exciting. And then the body comes, and yeah, sometimes it's nice to do something like this, but often it's also really boring.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then I stop it again. So that's reason to procrastinate, number 2. And reason number 3 is I start a project. I really love it. And then I come to a point where I have to start working in Excel to make a stitch count, disruptive moment, because how exactly I want to do it, and
you
write it down.
You just want to be free to knit.
It's kind of like I need several projects in different states of development, and then it works.
Yeah.
How about you? I'm curious.
Okay, so mine is a little bit similar and a little bit different. For a long time, I was a very monogamous knitter, but just would have long breaks in between my knitting sessions. So I think my first reason is just because I'm not knitting. I'm doing something else. Maybe I'm focusing on learning Dutch, or I'm really into sourdough baking, or my garden is getting a lot of attention. I started sewing again this year, and that has definitely slowed down my knitting drive a little bit. So number 1 is distraction. Number 2, I am definitely not a finisher. I don't enjoy, I am so close on this little hat, and it's very cute. But oh God, just to me, knitting I-cord and doing the last little I-cord bind off is just so bloody tedious. It's sort of not really, I want to just do something that's more meaty, or not even meaty, because I think technique wise, finishing has a lot going on. You're probably doing a whole lot of different, I've got grafting, I've got I-cord bind off, I've got stitches to pick up, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, that's not my favorite part. I like doing the color work. And also, I don't actually mind doing the body, the long stretches of stockinette, because that's stuff I can do while reading a book, or listening to an audiobook, or watching TV. And then the last reason that things will sit forever, and I'm sorry, I've got to just stand up to reach it. This is not knitting, but it is fiber adjacent.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I started this basket weaving, well, not even weaving, but basket needlework thing last summer. And just when the weather got cold, this just wasn't what I wanted to work on anymore. And so I chucked it in a little project bag under my bed and totally forgot about it. And I found it this morning, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I've got this. And it's definitely, it's The long days are back. The sun is out. I don't necessarily want to be trying on my sweater like 15 times because that's kind of where I'm at with, I need to like test the length of the sleeves, whatever. So this little guy I think is going to be coming back into the fold. I do have some like knots to work out and got to find my pattern again. But that's my third reason, is just I am a very seasonal person in terms of the projects that I want to work on. I know not everybody's like that. I know some people will do. I know Stephen, for example, loves to knit a blanket in the middle of summer. Ugh, not me. That's not my.
No, I'm also not I'm not a seasonal knitter. I'm on my worsted weight sweater right now. So.
And that means that you'll be warm once the cold comes. I want to knit a jumper in winter, and it's not done until sort of April, May.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I think all of our reasons make total sense. They always make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, at least at the moment that you're switching your project or trying
to justify anything.
Yeah, find something completely different to do. And goes to show you always have to have several hobbies and projects and things to work on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, it's been utterly delightful speaking to you this evening.
It has. Have a nice evening.
You too.
And I hope to speak to you.
I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
And thank you guys for joining us. And we'll have information about the episode down below. And if you enjoyed it, please review and subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks.